Awesome. So welcome back to Humans of Wellbeing. I'm here with Ricardo, who is joining me today. Do you want to just give people watching a little bit of background about you and what you do?
Yeah, I can give you a little bit about me. I won't go on too much, don't worry, 'cause I do that. So what am I growing up and stuff? Just a little idea?
Kind of, yeah, like why you do what you do.
Okay, yeah, brilliant. So when I was at school, I'm dyslexic, so I wasn't very good at reading and writing, and I found that a bit of a burden. So you could spend a lot of time doing reading and writing. You could be in an English session, doing homework and working the best you can to get an A.
Yeah.
And year 3, I realised, and that'd be year 10 or year 9.
Yeah.
When you do the SATs, I realised all the efforts that I could put into reading and writing or maths or anything like that, I ended up with like a D or an E.
Yeah.
So I could literally spend more time and more effort into something where someone else who can easily do the reading and writing would get an A, but I could spend more time trying to get the A, but end up getting a D and an E.
Yeah.
Now, not at one stage of my life I've ever been successful and passed first time. Whether it was my car test, theory test, anything, even my classes that I teach, always failed on them ones as well. So as I grew up and I was doing reading and writing, I realised straight away this wasn't my thing. Yeah. And I did think, first of all, it was a burden to have, a real problem, because I looked at the world as that you can't have to read and write to get anywhere in life, and especially to go to college and university, you definitely have to have some sort of degree to walk into a job, especially one with a good wage as well. Yeah. So even from that age, I realised this. So what I noticed, what I could do, the ability of sports, I could express myself on a sports field. So I managed to run for Lower England. Yeah. Spent all my time doing that. Don't forget, I did do homework, but it wasn't really my foray. If I missed some homework, I missed some homework. Let's be honest, it wasn't my favourite thing. I'd rather be outside doing sports. Yeah. So then I played for Crowmarsh and Gorham Robins, who were a good team for football. Played for the county as well. Yeah. And I spent a lot of time showing that I could create things. I could work in a team environment. I could work on my own abilities the best I can and become the best I could do. Yeah. So after school and stuff, I went into a college, and it was the class I was in with people which were very good at reading and writing, but they were quite good at sports. Yeah. But they found they were quite low in morale. Yeah. So we had one teacher, which everyone would know this as well. You'd always have one teacher, which is fantastic. Yeah. Now, primary school and secondary school were quite bad for me. I didn't enjoy it as much as I could have done. But when I went to college, I met this one guy who was my tutor called John Gunter. And John Gunter, every Monday on tutor, he would lift our spirits the best he could. Wow. And what he would do, he would individually choose us. Yeah. So he'd say to me, for example, on a Monday, because we're all down from the weekend and stuff, and we're thinking, I can't be bothered with this whole week of college and stuff, even though it's sports, but there's still reading and writing to do. But he understood that we could be lost. We could lose ourselves, back away, not bother. And he understood the importance of keeping there and keeping ourselves motivated to keep being successful. Yeah. Because with a sports diploma, although I've never shown it to anyone, in my head, I know I've done it. Yeah. So I'd go into a session feeling a bit low and stuff, and he would turn around and go, Ricardo, do you know what you remind me of? Guess what's that? Even if he made this up, it doesn't matter. I always remember. Because you remind me of a lorry driver I used to know. What's he do then? Intrigued what he's going to say. And he goes, he drive around in this lorry, and he couldn't read. So when he got to a map, he could read the roadsides, but he couldn't read the towns. Yeah. But he was a handsome chap, real good-looking chap. And what he would do, he'd use him. So if he couldn't read something or where something was, he would strategically pick out someone who would tell him. So as he drives along, he wouldn't choose an old person. He'd choose someone who's pretty woman. So we'd pull over to this pretty woman, open the door, and she's like, oh, hello. And then it put down and goes, excuse me, love, don't suppose you know who this is? She'd go, oh, Oxford. He's got the answer. He's got the answer, what he needed, but he used his ability to be able to do it. Yeah. to get the answer.
Yeah.
And he goes, and that's what you do, Ricardo. You'd go to the London Underground and you wouldn't try to work out if this train coming here is going to be leaving in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You just go simply, excuse me.
Yeah.
Do you suppose this train's going to so-and-so? Yeah. And they go, oh no, that's the train over there. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
So you're not left to try to discover.
To figure it out. You're connecting.
Yeah. So as I was getting older, I started realising that a lot of people spend a lot of time reading the world in a book. So they read miles and miles and miles of words, but they don't really put that into day-to-day life, and they lose the connection with each other. So, learn everything but be nothing kind of thing. So from that, I moved around a couple of little places, and then I moved to Swindon at a certain stage in my life, and I was looking for empathy. I never really had a close person die on me. I've been in love, but that's everything. Everyone had to go through experiences and stuff. But what I really wanted to do, my soul was searching for empathy. I wanted to see what it was like for other people and situations. So in Swindon, I started working with disabled people and learning difficulties, doing sports. And then from there, I was doing that for 4 years. At the same time, I started working at the Prospect for free, volunteering, which is a hospice. And I was going around picking up furniture from people's homes. Now, some people don't quite get this, right? Now, if you could just imagine, I'm working in a workforce where older guys, they could be 50, they could be 70, have lost their wife through various different things, and it could be their daughters as well, or their sons. But generally speaking, the ones I worked with have lost their wives to cancer. And for a man at that age, it's the biggest thing in the world. A woman can normally cope because a woman has friends, they have family, they're more connected to their family, but a guy just seems to go to work, start losing his social network, busy doing his work, and his family are not as close as the mum would be. So and they always think they're going to go before the woman. They always do. Kind of write their will out before it's even happened. Now, when it happens, unfortunately, and the wife passes away, the guy always finds himself a little bit lost, and he needs to go back into a working environment to keep things structure, because that's what men do. It's more structure. And I was working with these people who've lost partners and stuff, and oh my God, we had such a laugh. We had some good banter times. I've learned so much from the Prospect team. Now, we were going into people's houses who have grievances. So you were picking up maybe pool cues from a dad who's just passed away. I remember going into one of these houses, and there's an old guy, and he lost his wife. And bless him, we spent 2 hours chatting to him, and you wouldn't believe what we ended up chatting about. Now, his wife can manage to keep him sane by not talking stuff about the past. But when the wife dies, them little things that have been in the back of his mind start coming through again. And he was talking about when he was at school, as everyone knows, back in the days, some of the teachers weren't very good. If you kind of know what I mean. And he was like 78 years old, and he sits there saying to us while we're picking up his wife's stuff that he's going through hell at the moment because all of his past is coming back up because he's watching the news. So the news he's watching, where he would normally be doing something with his wife, is encouraging them brain paths. So like regressing back. Big time. Big time. So imagine I'm finding this sort of stuff out. So I don't know if I'm feeling worse or better, but I'm definitely empathising. So at the same time this was happening, I started working for the council, and it was all about social awareness, so old people being isolated and lonely, and family maybe not having time to go and see him, or maybe they haven't got family around. So what I was doing, I was working in all the care homes, and I pick up a relationship with someone who needs someone, and see that guy I was just talking about, where his wife passed away and stuff, and things going back in his head. Oh, do you know what I do? I'll go grab his hand, because he's able to walk around and drive, and go and introduce him to Doris down the road, who just needs someone to pop in to say hello, because now he feels useful, because he might go and get a little bit of shopping for her, he might go and cut her grass, paint, he gets a relationship, something for him to do. I find it ironic how we're so disconnected with each other, but yet all we want is connection. We live in this fear factor all the time feeding on us. But and what I want to do is just go around just linking people's hands up. Why should you be suffering and that one's suffering? Why don't you come together? And because Christmas time, it's brilliant. They take each other out and everything. And it's always quite a fair thing as well. One pays, everyone pays. It's fantastic. So I was doing that as well, which is called Swindon Circles. I was doing that for a good 2 years, stroke 3. And then I received a reward for doing stuff in the community, because at the same time I was working with kids. I'm doing this as quick as I can, by the way. Edit it as much as you want. Breathe. But there's quite a lot. But I'm nearly there. So I was working with kids as well. So they could be vulnerable kids. They could be kids who haven't got the best diet. And we were working with the parents, trying to educate them on the food. Now, just understand this. Everyone knows what healthy food is. Everyone knows that. No one disagrees with it. You don't need to chuck out an apple and say how many Mars bars is in that or something. You don't need to do that. We kind of know that. But that was the nutritionist's job. My job was to get sports into them. And the best way of doing that is by involving the parent and the child. So what we do, we have a massive sports hall, and I'd get the parents and the children to play together. So we play netball or something, where the mums played it years ago. The last time they played it was years ago. And what you find is that PE back in them days is put people off. Put people off, they remember something. This is the parent. Right, the parent would be saying, I ain't done that for ages. Well, why would you think that your kid is inactive if you're inactive? So what I want to do, rather than go, it's your fault, it's this, that, why don't we just educate them and doing some sports again? So what I wanted to do, I just got them to do some, could be hockey, football, could be badminton, whatever, pick up some skills. There's 2 reasons for this. Number 1, when they go to secondary school, they pick up a sport that they don't need to be taught, so they're not going to be bullied. Okay, so they're not going to be someone going to point at. The second thing is connection with the parent. The parent doesn't realise the kid's so good at running. God, you definitely need some new trainers. I'm going to get you some new trainers. We're going to get you in a sports team. And the kid goes, Mum, I didn't realise you were so good at shooting. Oh, leave an egg. This is brilliant. We can do stuff together.
So connecting.
Interaction, that's all they want. Get rid of all this, feather tape and stuff like that. Get rid of that. Just get them doing sports. Diets will follow afterwards. Because you know what? When they're doing sports and having fun together, they start making different choices together. We've got the same watch. Boom. So I was doing that as well. And then I started doing classes, which you come to one of my classes as well.
I've been to your classes.
So I do spin classes as well. And again, that's another thing where, so I work with kids, older people, and there's a one in between the workforce, the ones who are so busy trying to either extension of their ego, or they're trying to be busy trying to make do with life or change life, whatever it is. There's a group in the middle which either get missed out or overworked and undervalued. So this group here, which is overworked and undervalued, some of them, I go and work with them, and what I want to do, I set up an arena, right? So you come to a spin class, and whatever frustration is going throughout your day, it's not just a spin class, you just cycle on a bike and you listen to music. I try to spiritually uplift you, right? So you can forget about the world, right? And I'd say to you, after track 3, what can you remember? Generally speaking, no one ever remembers any of the tracks. That's because, as you were saying earlier, time. Your mind, once you're in that zone, time is non-existent.
You're in your flow.
And the doors are shut, and you know what that is? That's a form of meditation, right? I could ask people before the class how they feel, anxious, angry about the world, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. Then they go and do some exercise, lose themselves in the exercise, and then I ask them afterwards, how do you feel? That's much better. Big smile on their face, feel great. A bit like meditation. Could be angry and stuff like that. Meditate for 45 minutes. Ask them again. I feel cool. I feel relaxed. And normally speaking as well is when someone's exercised like that as well and they've quieted their mind down, they can listen to their super subconscious mind. And when that kicks in, you have ideas. So you could, so for example, businessman or businesswoman, really, really busy at work, trying to work on something, even a mathematician, that's probably better, trying to work on a sum, go to a spin class, start cycling. At the end of the spin class, as you're relaxing, going home driving, it'll go, boom, there's the answer. The sum that you've been trying to work on, there it is. But you know what? You knew it already. Just like when you go to bed sometimes and you think, just going, oh, that's the answer. Write it down. Write it down. That's always the right answer, full stop.
Yeah.
So these are the kind of things that I teach and do. And I received a Pride of Swindon award last year for working in the community and stuff, for all the stuff I do. Now, this is self-motivation, right? So it's not ego. It's to recognise what I'm doing is pushing me to keep me going. Yeah. So with this Pride of Swindon, I thought, right, I have to set myself up and motivate myself to go even further now. So the next stage was the cycling. Yeah. So I've done a few cycle trips around Europe for a charity called Brighter Futures and the Prospect, and I'm an ambassador for the Brighter Futures, which is a radiotherapy ward they're building in Swindon. So it kind of interlinks with the Prospect. Yeah. Okay, so I kind of know, because I used to hear stories about them driving to Oxford, and you know, imagine if it's your loved one, and you've got to keep driving to Oxford down a little road. To get treatment. Yeah, just for half an hour treatment. It could be their last days. You still get stuck in traffic and stuff. Yeah. You'd rather have one in Swindon so people can come to. Yeah. So we're trying to raise money for that as much as possible. So it's a good cause, real good cause. So what I was doing is I was raising awareness by doing my cycle stuff. Yeah. So bringing in me doing my classes, bringing in me doing the kids stuff, bringing in me doing with old people. Yeah. You kind of then turn around and go, well, I'm going to go and do this. So then everyone starts talking about it. Yeah. You know, and then they kind of know what the cause is about, even if they're unaware. Yeah. I could be the hub and tells them what we're doing. Why am I doing it? Yeah. What am I doing it for?
And I kind of, what comes to mind now is, if I think of, you know, a lot of the stuff that you've been doing in terms of raising money for charities, been around on the bike. Yeah. Like for me, you are the hub, which all the spokes connect to.
Yes, right, yeah.
You're the hub, and you know, you are the hub that connects the spokes. And a lot of that for me is around how you elevate people's mindset into what they can create. Yeah. Both with their body, but also in relation to achievements and stuff as well. Yeah.
So self-belief. So we did a campaign called The Biggest Losers last year, and it was a great way to grab 14 individuals who don't even know each other, get them together and spend 6 weeks with each other. Yeah. And they had to completely commit. Now, I wanted to see if what I can do works. Yeah. So I had a couple of people, Siobhan and Richard, and we taught meditation, exercise, and nutrition. Yeah. Now, when people hear Biggest Losers, they're always expecting people to be really overweight and stuff like that. No, Biggest Losers is get rid of that negativity, replace it with positivity.
I love that.
Okay, so what we literally done was they had to be fully committed. So there was loads of people applied for it. And we interviewed everyone as well, but we wanted the ones which were going to be committed, 100%. And you had people who were business orientated, you know, they had families and stuff like that. Yeah. They might have had to get their kids looked after there. They had loads of commitments. Yeah. But secretly they're saying, I need help. Yeah. I'm white flagging the system. I can't deal with this mortgage payments and stuff. I'm done. Yeah. I need help. Because it seems to be like a rush from the maternity ward to the cemetery. And in between, I've had a kid. And I was only a kid last week. And I don't feel no different than I was when I was 14. But suddenly I've got all these bills to pay and stuff. And I've got to work. Yeah, you can imagine why life goes straight down for people and why they need picking up. So the first thing I used to do, I used to get them together. And it was teach them where they are now. Yeah. Because if you can ground them and tell them where they are now, when they move on, they can step forward and then they can look back to see where they were.
And how do you, so just on that, because that's fascinating actually, because this is a real theme that's starting to come up in other conversations we've had as part of our campaign, which is about Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. So you working with that group of people, how are you supporting them in recognising where they are now?
So you said about the power of now, right? I wrote something up a little while ago, and it was literally like, you can, if you're on a road
Yeah.
You can see your future.
Yeah.
And you can look back to your past.
Yeah.
But it's right now where you are. So you always have to vision a road. Always vision a road, because you're always going to go that way.
Yeah.
And you've already seen where you've been.
Yeah.
But it's all about now.
Yeah.
So to do that, so that's like obviously rewards. Put something at the end of that reward.
Yeah.
Put your mind there.
Yeah.
Your body will just keep on following it.
Yeah.
And you're going to be left astray. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
You're going to come off the bandwagon and come back on again.
Yeah.
But if I can hardwire you, you will come back.
Yeah.
So what you do is, the first thing we do is take pictures of each other. Everyone will take pictures of each other.
Yeah.
Everyone will write to each other. Everyone will support each other. And then I get them to do, say for like the Biggest Losers or something like that, I'd get them to run around the track. We had like a 400-metre track. And I remember one lady, this is a real good point as well, really good point.
Yeah.
And I have to think off my feet. This just comes naturally as well when I'm there.
Yeah.
So we're running around the track, and I said just 2 laps or 400 metres. Oh God, that was they found that was so hard.
Yeah.
Some shuffled, and then one lady turned around and she had an asthma thing, and she was a quite large lady, and she looked at me. She goes, I can't do it. Day one, she's like, I can't do it. I said, just take a moment, have a look round. And she's looking around. I said, they're not all running. Some of them are walking, some of them are jogging, some of them are trotting. They're not running round. I said, you'll find something that you're good at, that they're not good at. Yeah. But what we have to do is find what you are good at.
So strengths.
Yes, but everyone doesn't know this because they've had distractions all their life.
Yeah.
I always say it to people, get rid, in my opinion, it should be, life should be schooling, right? So, but schooling should be life, right? And it should be
school of life.
It should be a school of life.
I love that.
Full stop, right? So anything that I had to learn my ability. So like if I couldn't read and write, I could have been really down the dumps. My mum and dad could have been on me, like, oh, you can't read and write, blah, blah, blah. You've got to keep going. I had to self-notice what I can do, but I was never recognised. Yeah. I had to do that all myself.
Yeah, self-awareness.
Yeah, schools never really recognised them. They're a bit better now, but still, the stuff that they teach in schools is wrong. Some people are spiritually gifted, but that's pushed to the side. No one
and it's
involved in that.
It's not spoken about enough.
No, they think it's the hippie pippies. It's not.
You're a real spiritual guy, aren't you?
Yeah, real big time. Yeah,
which is coming through in what you're doing with these people.
Yes, but you got to do it in the way that they understand it. Yeah. Right? Because I could call my business spiritual awakeness, and I'd only get people which are already spiritual awake. I want people who self-discover me. Self-discover, because they're the ones who are going to stay. Like a fine wine. Yeah, don't overdo it. Just keep it in the cellar. Keep it in the cellar and let it mature, and then it'll get really good. That's from Richard Jones's quote. He's an amazing guy.
Love that.
So this lady, she was watching these people running around. She goes, yeah, but they're still doing it. I said, listen, go and have your asthma attack walking around, whatever. Don't stay here. Anyway, so she went round, done two of them, and then because that day was all about timing, how quick they can do it, what they can lift, so that they can know when in 6 weeks' time what they smashed. Yes. Yeah. So what happens is they've got these barrels, right, and everyone's lifting them up, and there's a heavier one, and then these ladies were trying to do it. Oh, I can't do it. Wow. I looked at her before she even done it, right? I looked at her and I said, "Go on, have a go." Boom. And you know what? Tears out of her eyes. I've been told I can't do anything all my life, and I've just flicked this barrel up that no one else can do. Thrown it down, and she's loving it. Yeah. Right, just from that one simple moment of her looking around, thinking, can't do it. Everyone else is doing it. I can't do it. Find something you can do, and work on it. Because the other stuff will follow. Just keep working on stuff that you can do first of all. And I think that's such an important message. So I think, like with you saying around the different generations that you work with, from children, kind of the workforce age, and then those that are kind of retirement, elderly, that with all of those individuals, the sense of health and well-being is going to be different for them at different stages in their life. But this recognition of what I can do, rather than what I can't do. Yeah, and also, listen, there's like yourself and me and the cameraman there. We kind of like want to change people's lives. That's what you're here for, right?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, that's exactly what we're here for. And on all a serious note, we can only be messengers, and that's the full stop. We have to give this message out and see how it goes. And the one thing that what some people don't talk about, I mean, it's all right telling us and telling other stories, but people like us, we have to be really patient. And even if we don't change it, the generation underneath, if we've educated them, they will slowly change it too. Because, you know, as we all know, we know that something's building up. We can all feel it inside us. But if you can just change 500 people, 200 people, 100 people, just their life, just in a round of like exercise. Yeah. So look, you know, so for example, I think 3 things bring people together. One of them's food. Yeah. Second one's exercise, and the third one's music. Yeah. So look what I'm teaching. So when I'm doing classes, what am I teaching? That's music. Yeah. What's the other thing it's teaching? Well, it's teaching exercise with music. Yeah. Then what does it teach after that? You have a choice what you eat afterwards. Yeah. So because what you would do, you would train really hard, and you would then have that choice what to eat afterwards. Yeah. Now, if you didn't do the exercise, you wouldn't have connection with the people who were around you doing the same thing, which was then networking. So you're around the same people which are similar to you. Yeah. So what are you? You are becoming one. You're becoming one. The music. You listen to the music, music's still the same, you're all singing the same music, and you're all to the same beat. Yes, you're all becoming one. Yeah. What's the big divide? The divide is when you're not one. When you're all separated and you're all put in houses and everyone's got their own opinion on the world, guess what's not there? There's no TV in exercise classes. There's nothing there, no one to change your mindset. Yeah. What you're actually doing is having a really good time exercising, and then choosing what you can have afterwards, and choosing to speak to people which are just like-minded people. There's nothing there. The doors are shut. Yeah. I always say, when you see like a kid, little small baby, I don't know where we lose this. When we're a small baby and they're running around, and say 2 years old, bearing in mind, like, as you were saying about spiritual being I am, you imagine you could see the halo on a baby, the innocent toddler running around. It's huge. They are in the now. Yeah. They are in the now. Yeah. They fall over, hurt themselves, cry. You go, Google, you're all right. Look at that. Oh, yeah, I'm all right. Us, we're like, oh, yeah, I can't go to work for 8 weeks now. Yeah, this bad elbow I got. Kids, when they run round, they see other kids. Yeah. Right? And you can see in the playgrounds, you can see their interaction. Not when they're like 5 or 6. This is when they're 2, when they're toddlers. Yeah. And they can see different colours come in, different coloured kids, different backgrounds. So some of them could be like real, Ralph Lauren clothes and stuff like that. And then someone else could be in George. It doesn't, you know what? They don't give a damn. They don't care. They go to speak to each other. They have a little laugh with each other. Yeah. They don't care about any of that
There's no judgment. There's none of that.
None. So I asked the question, when does that come in? Because at 5 and 6 years old, they start wanting stuff. So what do you have to question? You have to question all the advertisement stuff. You have to question the TV. This is why I said, like when you come to sports and stuff like that, rip away all that sort of stuff, and you can just focus on what you want to do. And you know what? It's just having a good bloody time. Yeah. So just have a real good time with each other. Where there's nothing in there. There's no intentions, like secret intentions. I'm going there because of that. I'm going there. You go there because you have a good time. Yeah. And I always wonder why we lose that, because it should just stay like that. Yeah. Because we just have a lot more respect for one another, and it wouldn't be you because of you. And also, I have to say as well, I do say this quite a lot, is that when you're in an interview, and when they get you to stand up and introduce yourself, don't introduce yourself as a role play. I've told you this before. Life is all about role play, and you don't genuinely know who you really are, because you probably haven't spent enough time on your own, and you don't even know your own ability, but you know everyone else better than you know yourself. So because the reason why that is because you want everyone to like you. So you would change who you are with your mum, you'd change who you are with your brother, then you'd be different with your missus or your partner, and then you'd be different with your work colleague, all these different faces that we put on in different social situations.
It reminds me of a book called The 5 Agreements.
Oh, really?
By a guy called Don Miguel Ruiz. I hope I've pronounced that right. And he talks about exactly that.
The same
it's like
thing.
You're almost in your own movie.
Yeah, all the time.
And different people in your life will see different versions of you if you're not in sync with your own self.
Yeah. And it is 100% correct, because, like when you become a police officer, for example, you become the police officer as soon as you zipped up, and you become an officer.
Yeah.
But when you take that off and you wear sports kit, when you go into the gym, role of the gym.
Yeah.
Everything has a role to it. But what I always question is that when you were saying about self-belief, how do I motivate people? Well, the number one thing is to deal where you are now and be who you are, the authentic you. And the only way to know that is by spending time on your own. Spending time on your own and learning your own ability. So what I teach, a lot of people come to spin classes, they could come as a couple, they can come on their own.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's their own time.
Yeah.
Because as we said before, time is pushed. We are pushed for time.
Yeah.
And we really shouldn't be pushed for time. That rush, I don't like it. But what I try to do is I try to encourage people to trust in me. And to do that is by doing a damn good class. Yeah. To do that is by... I hold back quite a lot of the stuff I say sometimes because it can be overwhelming. So what you have to do is kind of like... how do I explain it? Apple crumble. There you go. You go. Just come down my head. Apple crumble, right? So the truthful view is down here with the apple, but you've got to slowly push away through the crumble, which is quite soft at the top. Then it goes harder, which is stuff which you've been educated to learn from a young age. Because if you think about it, when you actually come out of school and college and stuff, it's normally too late to pick up a skilled work and be amazing at it. Yeah. Because generally speaking, if you go and look at the East, what they would do is that they would go to work with their parents. Yeah. And they'd have such a good relationship with their parents. Yeah. Remember what I said about the isolation people I used to look after? A lot of people were put on that treadmill of life of working and stuff like that and not seeing their grandparent or their mum. Yeah. And then the mum becomes a burden because, now they're retired and now they've got to look after the mother-in-law because they're still alive. Yeah. It's a burden. And then they've got to look after the grandchildren. And they're thinking, you know what, I thought we were retiring at 65. I seem to be looking after grandchildren, looking after my mother-in-law. Mm-hmm. Because of what I was saying. We've been put on a treadmill of life to be pushed and not ask questions. Don't ask why, just do. And I slowly want to show people the right way, in a sense of exercise, food and music. Yeah. Because I think you get quite a lot from that. So if you can imagine you edge away at your crumble and you say you stop watching TV a little bit, stop watching the news, stop with the vibrations of other people's thoughts coming into you. Yeah. And then you becoming their thoughts, what they're telling you. Yeah. So if you kind of just stop turning that off, you'll probably free up a good, 6-7 hours a week.
So it's almost bringing about more capacity in your life to fill it with things that are going to be better for your longevity, sustainability, your energy. Yeah.
And what are you creating? Because the people underneath you, your kids, are watching what you're doing. Yeah. Everyone has a great mind in their head. They paint a perfect picture of life. Yeah. But they're not willing to put the hand and the paintbrush onto the actual paper. They're not willing to do it.
This is a question I kind of ask each of the people that I sit down with, is that what do you believe to be a human of well-being?
As in?
Like, how would you describe it, either in words or feelings, of what it is to be a human of well-being?
There you go. Love, live, empathise. Love your life, love your neighbour, live your life and empathise with others. Yeah. It's as simple as that. Yeah. As soon as you've got empathy with each other, and you love, genuinely love, you can live your life. Yeah. So
it's this emotional connection.
But we've been switched off on that. Maybe you might have had kids thinking you're searching for it. Like people might have an animal because they want something to love, but they can't put their finger on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've all got this feeling in our head that something's not quite right. And what it normally means is that you're not focused on yourself.
Yeah.
And you're not spending time on yourself. What you're doing, and which is a nice part of you, is that you're delegating your life to other people.
Yeah.
You know, you've got like people, you've got to do stuff for work, you've got to go and see that person, you've got to make sure you're going to get breakfast, you're going to get, go to the gym and stuff. You delegate too much time everywhere else.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you look in that mirror again and you're like, I'm 55 years old. What's going on? I was only 14 not so long ago, and I still got the same thoughts.
Yeah.
So what I want people to do is not retire early and have a great time and then work later on. I get people's idea of that as well. And that's the young generation. The young generation, if they get quite good inheritance, what they generally do is retire early and then deal with the consequences afterwards.
Yeah.
No. Play the game. Play the game. If you've got a mortgage, fine. You don't have to just, chuck it away. Pay it off as quick as you can.
Yeah.
Pay it off as quick as you can. But just do a few things for me. Number one is spend some time on your own. Number two, love the person you're with.
Yeah.
And just have a great time with that person. Because me and my partner, Shiv, we're here at Seize the Glory. You don't mind me saying that, do you?
No, absolutely
not. Right, okay. We're here with my business with Shiv. And people come here as a reflection of us.
Yeah.
We're getting the same people who we are.
Yeah.
Come join in as a member. So we're getting partners come in and they're doing date nights here. We're doing exercises. We're having a laugh. And you know what? We're down to earth people.
Yeah.
We don't hide behind a book or anything like that.
Yeah.
We're just genuine people that you can come and have a good laugh with.
Yeah.
And we're not overpowering or such. All I do is I teach a class and I have a good laugh.
Yeah.
And you know what? We make their life better. We make their life better. But you know what? They make our life better.
Yeah.
Because to make a successful company, I learned a very valuable lesson this year. And it's my lessons, because I'm always learning. But my lesson this year I learned was, I ain't never going to be rich. I ain't ever going to be rich. I'm never going to have loads of money in my bank. And I'm probably never going to have a mortgage either, because I'm getting to the stage where I'm just a little bit too old. But I'm not too worried about that. So what I've decided to do is because my bank account's no different from when I was like 16 years old to now. I'm still in the overdraft. Still, the last £10 I'm putting into fuel to go and pick up my son or come here. I'm still massively struggling. And I've never had a good kick where I've done really well. But I don't measure it with money, but I'll tell you what I measure it with. I measure it with, I can teach other people to have a great, great life. I can push that in to everyone's life so they can have fun. Yeah. But don't stop me from having mine, because then I won't be able to preach if I'm not being able to go to a log cabin or build my own log cabin somewhere.
Yeah.
I can't preach what it feels like because I'm not there.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to be there. I want to be able to have the ability to have a little bit of land somewhere, build a little log cabin, because what it's doing is just teaching something different.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy a house, which by and large is going to go straight back to them.
Yeah.
I'd rather just use the stuff on the earth, which has been created on the earth, to build my own little getaway place.
Yeah.
And that's all I want. But I've understood from this year, I have accepted that I'm going to have to take a lot of knocks, a lot of pushbacks, with life and time and money and stuff like that before this is going to happen. But if anyone's going to take the knocks, I'd rather it be me.
Yeah.
I'd rather take the knocks for everything like that, because I know what I'm building.
Yeah.
I know what I'm building. Someone can come in here and me kind of teach that to them.
Yeah.
You know what you're building. You're building a hub, you're building awareness, and it's a slow build up.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for the last 6-7 years, from prospect to disabled people, all the empathy that I've got with different people.
Yeah.
And I slowly link it all together.
You are the hub.
I am the hub, but I'm the joker as well.
That's amazing. It just brings in so many different themes around kind of this ongoing process of accepting that we're always learning, we're always growing, and just that ability for all of us is to connect more to what it feels like to be with the people that we love, the people that we enjoy being around.
Yeah.
And I think when you said, we've become so disconnected with some of our emotions, if we're switched off to our emotions, then what are we switched on to instead?
Yeah.
And the more awareness that we can create through what we're doing here with this campaign, with the great work that you do with others, and I guess it's almost like the people that are doing this work, like I talk about wanting to create a health movement, which is slightly different to what we may have seen in the past. And I think that kind of what you're doing and the other people that we've spoken to is part of that. And myself is part, we're all part of this health movement to say that actually the way we've been living, the way we've been working, it isn't working.
No.
It needs to change.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes from going back to the very core. You just spoke about an apple. It goes back to the very core of who we are as a human.
Yeah.
And connecting
definitely.
with that.
Definitely. And, this is what I was saying to you before as well. Life is about getting paid for play, and if you're at that point in time where you're working and you're not enjoying it, what I'm saying is don't pack it in. What I'm saying is you turn one tap on slowly as you turn another one off.
Yeah.
Financially secure yourself, because you're just going to go even worse. You've already tied yourself up with all these different things going on in life. The last thing you want to do is go, I'm done on that. Reservation, see you later. What you want to do is, that's what I'm saying, spend time on your own, learn something you can do, enjoy it, meditate, get ideas for it, and that's through exercise and stuff like that. So when I do my cycle things, that's when I'm kind of meditating.
Yeah.
What I would say is whatever idea you've got, keep it to the side and use it as a passion, but start letting it grow. Letting it grow, because what will happen is you start speaking to other people. Trust me, just ask. What they say, you ask the universe. They say ask the universe, or just trust in fate.
Serendipity.
Yeah, you only have to go and Google this sort of stuff. Just change your mindset on thinking that this is life. This, going to work, coming back, going to work, coming back. It doesn't have to happen like that. It doesn't have to happen. And I understand the financial commitments everyone's on and having kids. And sometimes they think to themselves, now I've got my idea that I want to do. And then they turn around and go, I've got 3 houses and 7 kids. I can't do it now.
Yeah.
You can, because if you can't do it, the 7 kids can do it. You can educate them to do it. Don't be so greedy. Pass your knowledge on. Yeah. Don't always hold your knowledge. Always pass it on.
Yeah.
And then eventually what will happen is you slowly change other people around you as well. And then you influence other people. So like what you're doing is, and the cameraman, I never got his name, by the way.
Adam.
Stig. All right. Adam, is they're doing what everyone needs to do. So they're using the social media, which is the same social media which is distancing you from your feelings. They're actually use the ability of the social media to reconnect you with yourself by going to every different people they're speaking to. And each one has got a different message. But guess what? The message is always the same. Time, love, connection. It's all the same. So why is it like that? Like I said to you before, they've given you houses. Everyone's living in individual houses, and it's you think it's a community, but it's not a community. Go look at Swindon, sleepy towns. People can't afford to live in their area, so they move to a different location. But they don't even really know their next door neighbour, only because DPD knocks on their door. They might know their neighbour from delivery.
It gets to that Amazon, DPD and any other courier is connecting communities because they put a slip through the door.
That's it. They are doing that.
Yeah.
They're the only ones doing it. So anyway, but what you find is that if you go please go cycle, go around the world, see where there is, because there's some villages out there which are gorgeous. If you go to somewhere like Swindon, not that I'm not bad mouthing Swindon at all, because I understand the finances. But if you look at Swindon as a hub, you will see that all the houses are built on top of each other. Each house looks exactly the same. There's no creativity. It's been wiped off. You go into a showroom, you want that home. You've lost your own creativity. So then you go into that house and you buy it, and it's the same as Jones's next door. But you don't really know 2 doors down. What they do then, they build a big ass shopping centre right next to you. So what you do is that you go to work in the morning, could be like, I don't know, Newbury or something like that. can't even see your family, too busy. But don't worry, what I'll do when your grandma's old, I'll go and look after her because you're too busy driving back down the M4 to pick up your kids, only to go to the shop and then go back home to repeat that the next day. Oh, repeat. So if anyone from space was seeing what we look like a massive organism with red lights going at one way in the morning and white lights coming back in the other way in the evening. But have a look around, because like when you're, say like you are in Swindon and you've got the local shop there, go and have a look at the farms, go and have a look. There's so many little areas around. Don't be seduced by this sleepy town business. Try to cycle around, see what other little villages are. Yeah. Yes, I understand it's not affordable. And if that's the case, create a community there. Create a community, be with each other, like Christmas time. Why does it have to be Christmas when you speak to a stranger and go, Merry Christmas? Yeah. Why can't you say hello to someone? Yeah.
So it's this connection. Bring
that back, because then everything follows. Yeah. And then whatever message you have, or I have, or the Stig over there, it will be passed real quick through. Yeah. Right? And they wouldn't have barriers up. The barriers are when you go, oh, I watched the news last night. That's not true. Yeah. We don't live on a flat planet, round planet. All the little things, or they just come out of facts, but yet they haven't gone up there to go and see it. It's so many random things. Yeah. And investigate, You put this phone to good use. There's a phone here. Yeah. Put the phone... How you doing? Put the phone to good use, Start educating yourself. We're always learning. Yeah. And do you know what happened? I call it the fabric of truth. I think I told you this before. There's kind of like a woven pattern. Yeah. You can look at religion, spirituality, whatever it is, there is a woven pattern of truth. Yeah. And when you're ready to find out this woven pattern, you will know. You just go and investigate, search it, and something will change inside you instantly when you get told something. Yeah, like just for example, go and have a look at GMO foods. If you want to start at one source, start on something like that.
Lift your awareness.
Yes, and then you just educate. It's just educate, because then it's choices after the education. You choose to learn that one, choose not to learn that one, ignore that one. That's fine. Learn that one. Start to educate yourself on the right path, because there's so many messages like you, myself, on the Stig. Yeah. Which is out there, which is trying to communicate with you. Yeah. Not because we want to be noticed and recognised and be all famous. It's just because we just want you guys to have a great life. Yeah. And it's as simple as that. And the more people do this, the better. Yeah. Because the system will just change.
And because we know that there's another way.
Oh God, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
It has been awesome.
I know, I chat loads.
Thank you so much.
Told you, didn't I?
Ricardo, for your time today. It's been a great conversation. And one that will resonate, I know, a lot with the people watching
I
hope so,
yeah. I hope so, yeah.
So thank you very much for watching, and watch this space for more Humans of Wellbeing. Thank you very much.
See you later.